I'm Cass and welcome back to another video. I've never done a mid-year freakout tag and I'm currently freaking out about the fact that I've never done a mid-year freakout tag because this tag seems so fun and I see it every single year, but for some reason I've never done it, which is odd. We're gonna rectify that right now because I'm just so excited to discuss books with y'all because I feel like I haven't done like a sit down bookish video in a while because I haven't. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the video by talking about the best book so far that I've read. There's a couple of answers. First one being Babel by R.F. Kuang. Devoured that book. And by devoured, I mean I literally read that entire book in like a day and a half. Just did not want to put it down. Absolutely beautiful writing style. R.F. Kuang is so freaking talented. And she just wrote an amazing book and I can't wait to go back and read it again. I think when I do read it again, I'll listen to the audiobook. I listened to the audiobook for a couple of hours when I was first starting out the book, and let me tell you, the narrator, give him a raise because oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. I loved his voice. I loved how the narrations were done. I loved the voice switch with the footnotes. So good. And usually, you know, I will complain about some footnotes, but Babel had me. Babel had me in its clutches. Another book that I absolutely loved was The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. That's book 1 of Mistborn. Y'all, I was sleeping on Brandon Sanderson. I was gonna say, why didn't no one tell me he wrote books this good? But like, I've heard it everywhere that he wrote books this good. I just didn't get around to the hype quick enough because I am absolutely enthralled. I cannot wait to start the Stormlight Archives because I've heard that's like the best of the best, the creme de la creme, if you will. And I want to read the creme de la creme of Brandon Sanderson's work because he has a lot. I've read all of Mistborn, including The Second Era, some other novels by him, Warbreaker, and Stormlight, I'm so ready. I want to read a few more of his novellas before I dive into that, just to like fully adapt to the Cosmere or whatever, I don't know. And then the third answer to this question, because you know that I'm not going to provide one book per question. Like we know that, right? That didn't have to be told. Anyway, Fourth Wing, Rebecca Yarros. Yes, a queen, an absolute queen. I wanted to reread that book the second I read the last page. I was like, all right, let's restart. Let's do it all over again. Let's just absolutely become obsessed with this book. This is kind of my new ACOTAR because when I read ACOTAR, I'm a little ACOTAR girly. What can I say? Like, I absolutely loved it. I fell into the universe. I was so invested. And that's kind of how I feel about Fourth Wing. And it's so exciting to read a book and be part of a series that's like slowly going to be coming out. And I mean, the second book is literally coming out in November, which is just absolutely stunning. Next is the best sequel that I've read so far, and that actually also is a two-part answer, and that is Well Matched and Well Traveled. That is books 3 and 4 of Jen DeLuca's Renaissance romance series. You can see it behind me right here because I am obsessed with that series. I absolutely love the characters and the tropes that are used throughout the series. Well Met, like the series itself, is so fun because you get to follow different characters, but you see each character like in different books as well, and then each one has a different trope. They got me. Well Matched and Well Traveled absolutely got me. I was like crying to did I cry to that book? I feel like I cried to this book, or like almost cried. I don't know, it had me. I'm so invested in these characters and I just want to reread them so bad, but I need to not immediately reread books that I love. A new release that I haven't actually got around to reading is actually a really long title, so I should let me look down to read it. The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder by David Graham. This book, I was researching books to put on my Patreon poll for the month, and I came across this book and I was like, say less. It's a historical nonfiction, but written as if it's a fiction, I think. I haven't read it yet, but that's what I've gathered. And I'm all about pirates and mutiny, even though, okay, like I need more pirates and mutiny books because I haven't read that many, but like I'm obsessed with the concept and the aesthetic of it, if that makes any sense. Or maybe I just sound ridiculous. The most anticipated release for the latter half of the year is obviously Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Yes, the second book in the Fourth Wing series. That's what I'm really excited for. And then the other one is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I got so obsessed with the Queen's Gambit and the aesthetic, again, the aesthetic of chess, because I don't want to put the brain power into like getting good at chess or understanding how to play chess properly. I have never won a chess match, I'm gonna be honest. I do know how the pieces move and how to play, but boy do I suck at it. Thought of a romance set. It's like the Queen's Gambit, but fun, cute Allie Hazelwood romance. And Allie Hazelwood has been hitting lately. So fun. And I wish it came out in the summer because Allie Hazelwood really gives me like those summer fun like romance vibes, but it is coming out in November, but I'm very, very, very excited for it. Hopefully it's a hit and not a miss because this is going to be the first time she's written about something outside of STEM, but still like smart people romance, and I love it so much. My biggest disappointment of the year so far was definitely Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I'm not saying it wasn't a good book, but I didn't think I would like Allie Hazelwood's new release more than I liked Emily Henry's new release. And I think I just need to go back and reread some of Emily Henry's other work just to get Emily Henry back into the light in my mind, because now I'm like, ooh, Happy Place was a miss. What's gonna be next? And another one is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. I'm sorry, but that dragged a little too long, and that ending was just not it. Some things that happened to my favorite character, also not it. Those were definitely like a few of my disappointments of the year, but neither of them were like bad. I think I gave Chain of Thorns 3 stars and Happy Place 4 stars. But I think I might have dropped it to a 3.5 because I wouldn't reread it. The biggest surprise for this year, and actually like surprisingly I have a one book answer for this, is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I figured I would enjoy it because I've enjoyed Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing before, and I just don't know why I never picked up more of her work after loving Malibu Rising. But 7 Husbands, I was like, I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna enjoy it, but I didn't think I'd be so invested to the point where I was like crying and absolutely like feeling my emotions. But man, did I feel my emotions with that one. And it got me hooked to a level that I didn't anticipate, hence why it was kind of a big surprise for this year. My new favorite author is definitely Brandon Sanderson. Hands down. I feel like I haven't found any authors where I like find them, I'm like, oh, this is good, and then immediately like binge so much of their work. But Brandon Sanderson got me this year. He really, really did. I literally am floored that I had not picked up his work in the past, especially. It's like right up my alley, and the magic systems are just so phenomenal, and I am just I love him. I love him so much. I can't wait for more books. And like I said earlier in the video, Stormlight, up and coming. It's a need, not a want. It literally is stacked like just out of frame. I have like the entire series in like the UK covers where they're split into parts. I have no excuse to not pick it up now, but I need to be in that mindset for like a high fantasy, and I'm in a summer cute fun romance mood right now, so diving into a high fantasy, not quite on the to-do list for now. Jen DeLuca is also an honorable mention of like favorite authors. I haven't read any of her other work. I don't know if she has any other work. I know she's working on one now, and I have no interest in picking up that one. But her Renaissance romance, if she just keeps writing those forever, I will be content. My newest fictional crush, honestly, Mitch from Well Matched, grew on me so much because in the first 2 books, I was like, yikes, what a little player, what a little hoe, not my favorite character. And when I figured out what Well Matched featured him, I was like, you cannot redeem this man in my eyes. He has just made himself, like, that is him. He's a little frat boy. Like, I ain't gonna stand for this. The redemption absolutely got me in love. Also, Jack from Love Theoretically, please. I'm such a softie for him. I truly am. And then I feel like obligated to mention Xaden from Fourth Wing because, like, everyone keeps saying it's a mix between Rhysand and Azriel, and I'm like, yeah. 2 men into one. Who wouldn't want him? Newest favorite character, honestly, one that really, really stuck with me was Vin from Mistborn. Girl, she is such a badass, and seeing her grow into the person that she was by the time Mistborn ended was just, what a story arc. Honestly, what a story arc. Her learning how to trust people and let people in, I'm like, I love her, and she's such a badass. So brownie points as well for that. Book that made me cry. Goodness, the longer I sit here, the more I like think about all the books that have made me cry that I just like mentioned earlier in the video, like 7 Husbands, Well Matched, Well Traveled. But the one I wrote down is Orange, which is my absolute favorite manga of all time. It's like my comfort read, even though I absolutely sob my eyes out every single time. And I made the mistake during this reread of reading it in a public setting, and I was like, I won't cry, I'm in public. Wrong. I was sitting in the coffee shop literally like discreetly trying to like wipe away the tears that are just streaming down my face. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful, and I'm currently watching the anime Not for the first time, but for the first time subbed and not dubbed, and it's so good. I got my coworker to give me his Crunchyroll username and password, and so I'm kind of in my anime era, so feel free to like leave me suggestions. I already have so many suggestions of animes. Like, I really want to watch One Piece because I didn't know One Piece was about pirates, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Remember the whole conversation about pirate aesthetic earlier? I need that in my life. Demon Slayer, I was like a third of the way into season 1 when I stopped it, and I need to get back into that. I need to catch up with My Hero Academia. I want to finish Fairy Tail because that's definitely a contender for like one of my absolute favorites. I absolutely got so obsessed with it back in 2018, but like I've only like rewatched season 1 3 times and made it like halfway through season 2. I just have commitment issues with TV shows and relationships, but that's besides the point. A book that made me happy, honestly, there's like so many, because when I'm having fun reading, like that brings me joy. I'm currently in the middle of Loath to Love You, which is the collection of the 3 short stories that Ellie Hazelwood. I read the first 2, Under One Roof and Stuck With You, and that has been bringing me a lot of joy. I still have to read the last one. I don't know what it's called though, but I need to read that one. But that's been really fun. When I read Love Theoretically, absolutely just like kicking my feet, giggling, so much fun. I wrote down Legends and Lattes because that was like such a cozy little fantasy that just brought me a lot of joy. But most of the books that I've read that are romance have brought me a lot of joy. Fourth Wing, that made me so happy. Literally, this is such a cool story. I am a sucker for books set at an academy or a university, like the Poppy War, the beginning of the Poppy War, when they're at like the War Academy, so good. So when she went to a war battle school, you had me there, and that's how the book started. The most beautiful books that I've bought this year, I have a couple, and I actually have them with me where I can actually hold them up. I haven't been holding up any of my other books because literally this is all the books that I have on me, so there's that. But prettiest books, we already know. Fourth Wing, what a slay. You have dragons on the spine? I'm sold. Also, I've been seeing so many people get like, hold on, like dragon tattoos like on their wrists or whatever, and I mean, I already had those, but this book definitely made me just like want to get more. I'm like, what if I did? Like, what if I got another dragon tattoo? Like, I could. I'm not going, well, never say never. Love this. Also, I bought the Japanese edition of Ranger's Apprentice, and the art style on this, I'm literally so obsessed. Is this upside down? I'm such a good YouTuber. I'm absolutely obsessed. It's so cute. And then on the back, there's also like, it's really hard to see, but like, obviously the cabin right here, and then there's like an outline of the ranger right here. It's so pretty. And I absolutely love the inside too. Just like the, I hate to be this girly that's like, oh, the aesthetic of Japanese, but it's so pretty. And the last question of the freakout tag is, what books do you really need to get to by the end of the year? Honestly, so many books have been added to my TBR because I keep watching more and more like videos, especially like these where they're talking about books, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I need to add those to my TBR, which is great, except for I don't know what books to prioritize. Honestly, Priority of the Orange Tree has been on my TBR for far too long, and it has a dragon. I'm just in such a Fourth Wing slump that I'm like, will any other dragon book ever reach that level of love for me? I don't know. Aragon, I would love to finish the series. I'm rereading the first book, and it's not going great because it's not Fourth Wing. And then The Way of Kings, book 1 of the Stormlight Archives, I really do want to start because it needs to happen. It really does need to happen this year. And I know they're like really long, but it needs to happen this year. Those are my books that I really need to get to, but honestly, Priory is the priority. But thank you so much for watching. I hope I was able to give you some good book recs. I would love to know the answer to this tag, or even just like a couple questions that you would love to answer. Feel free to comment them. As always, I love discussing books with y'all, and y'all can assist me with adding more books to my endless TBR. Thank you so much to my lovely patrons over on Chaos X Cass. It is our monthly book club with a buddy read, live discussions, reading sprints, so much fun, like extra little content over there. And thank you to all of you, of course, for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like the video if you haven't. Do I ever say that? No, but like, you should be subscribed, because if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? That felt a little too YouTuber-y. I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. Toodles!